A very good evening to you all. Today is Wednesday, January 31st, 2022, and I welcome you to News Update on Today Ghana News TV. We are live on satellite via Twitch for our viewers in the Eastern European countries and also on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram at Today Ghana News TV. We are also on anchor.fm/podcast at Today Ghana News TV. It promises to be 45 minutes of comprehensive news updates. My name is Joyce Ohenewaa Kwapong. Now the headlines. The Minister of Finance is calling on Ghanaians to support the passage of the controversial e-levy bill. General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, is asking Ghanaians to disregard government propaganda on e-levy. We will have an independent opinion on this e-levy brouhaha and more. My name once again is Joyce Ohenewaa Kwapong. We have details of these stories and many more come your way shortly, so please stay tuned. In our very first story, the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, is courting the support of Ghanaians for a smooth passage of the controversial electronic transfer levy, popularly known as e-levy. To him, the e-levy was designed to allow for an improved standard of living. He was speaking at a town hall meeting at Koforidua in the Eastern region.
We are the shining star of Africa, and there are three pillars that we deem we should incorporate, because ours is a country that leads, and it's an idea for the continent. So we started as the first independent sub-Sahara Africa country in Nkrumah's time. For our size, we led the whole continent into democracy. It took almost 60 years for us to then have an organ of the AU in our country, and that was the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which really it's the new independence, emancipating ourselves politically in the 60s, and then moving at this time to being the hub for investments and trade, which is the new economy that we have to. But there are three pillars that our president always wants to remind us about when we talk about Ghana beyond aid. And this, in his mind, is a political independence, and Ghana, therefore, as a beacon of democracy and a safe space in this region. The second one being economic emancipation, Ghana beyond aid, which we really were en route to achieving before COVID. And even that, I think we are going to recover strongly for it. And the third leg, which the president has also emphasized on, is our spiritual independence. And so even in the midst of this leading politically a great carryover in terms of our economic achievements, and now what we call the National Cathedral, which is also going to be a centerpiece of what Ghana represents. So Ghana as an idea is something that we should capture. But what does that mean? It's going to require us to be a confident, prosperous society with the human capital that is required to be able to raise our heads and lead Africa and the black race complete emancipation. But it's going to take some sacrifices on our part, and a clarity for us that we are leaders and will do extraordinary things. So this is our lot, and this is where the President insists that we should step up in history to be able to achieve that and lead Africa out of this morass. And we have seen it, especially during this time of the COVID experience, where the West have left us where we should be. We have a system in Africa where literally 90% of all our pharmaceuticals are imported, and a whole series of things that create dependency. And therefore, when the global supply chain is cut, we have problems, big problems. So we went through 2017 to 2019 with incredibly stellar results as to what we as a country had been able to achieve, moving from 3.4% of growth to somewhere over 7%, reducing our budget deficits from 6.5% into about.
In a quick response, the General Secretary of the NDC, Honorable Johnson Esiedu Inketia, is asking Ghanaians to disregard the government's propaganda against the opposition about its resistance to the e-levy.
And the propaganda has gone on to even indicate that we are nation wreckers. If we are not supporting taxation, how else do we intend to develop this nation? I want to let everybody know that NDC is not against taxation. Indeed, our philosophy is based on taxation. We believe in redistributive justice, and taxation is a means of achieving redistribution of wealth in the country. Our philosophy is hinged on the belief that once we have come together to live in one society, and we have different means, some will get rich, others will get richer, others will remain poor, whatever happens. But if we want to live in a group to ensure that everybody can have the basic needs in life, we believe that there must be taxation. And our principle of taxation is each according to his means. So those who have bigger means will pay more than those who don't have. So whilst we are supportive of taxation, we are very conscious about what type of taxation and how that taxation is implemented. Because if you put in taxation measure that works to put the greatest burden on the people who are already sinking, then you are not helping to build a welfare society. So our policy is that let us tax, but those who have the bigger means must bear the bigger portion of the taxation. And there are even people who cannot be taxed. They must be beneficiaries of the proceeds of taxation. So when it comes to government expenditure, we also believe that to each according to his needs. So when you are taking the money from each according to his means, and then when you are distributing to each according to his needs. So that is our taxation policy. So I want to debunk the assertion that NDC is against taxation. In fact, when we come back to power, we will continue to use taxation, but we will use taxation in a manner that we will achieve the objectives that we have set onto ourselves. We believe that the Momo tax in this budget is not going to help Ghanaians, particularly the vulnerable ones, to bear the problems that have been brought about by this COVID, which the government has touted all along in the budget presentation. We believe that it is rather going to burden the vulnerable ones who must be entitled to.
All right, so that was the General Secretary of the NDC, Honorable Johnson Esiedu Inketia. We would like to take an independent opinion on the e-levy brouhaha. And joining us tonight is Ms. Mayat Brefo JB. She's an accountant and a business consultant. Welcome, Ms. Mayat Brefo JB, to News Updates on Today Ghana News TV.
Hi, thank you very much, Ms. Ohenewaa Kwapong.
Yeah, looking awesome tonight. Yes, I'm doing great. You're looking very awesome.
Great. I'm grateful.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'd want to quickly proceed to the questions for tonight. We want to have a brief interaction with you with regards to this e-levy brouhaha that is going on in our country. So first of all, I would want to find out from you, the e-levy in general has become a divisive subject. In your opinion, what accounts to this?
Okay, so thank you all very much. Good evening to all the viewers across the globe. I'm Mayat Brefo JB, the founder of Gamal Ek, an accounting professional and also a business consultant. So before I start, I want to introduce our viewers to or speak on the topic taxation, because as we may know, it's not everybody who is very known to this, you know. So the primary source of income for every government is the tax revenue. So we have two sources of revenue for the government, and that is tax revenue and non-tax revenue. So with the tax revenue, we have direct taxes, that is the corporate tax, our income taxes, gift tax, and all of that. Then with our indirect taxes, we have import on levies. Let's say if you are bringing a car in or importing something into the country, the tax you pay on it. And also we have non-tax revenue, that is with grants, royalties. Grants are the loans we access from from other countries and all of that to help the country in our expenditure. So basically, that is the brief explanation of taxation, as in how taxes help the country. So after the e-levy was introduced, per my research from the joyonline.com, after it was introduced to the public, the e-transactions dropped 24% because of probably the fear and panic. Even though it hasn't been introduced, people are already afraid of it, you know. The system is hard. The system is hard. Yeah, so the e-transactions dropped 24%, Ohenewaa. So you can imagine, if it's introduced, I bet you people will stop this e-transactions. And it's not just on Momo, it's on any electronic transaction, you know.
Yeah.
So, and also, the petition stated by Evans Otumfo that it will also drop the government trying to introduce the cashless system. You know, after the pandemic, now we are all trying to be cashless. So I go and buy a fuel, I just pay with my Momo or I pay with my debit card. But it has dropped now. And I don't think it will encourage the normal Ghanaian. It will encourage us to go cashless. Because if I have to pay that amount on every transaction I make, and I don't even know whether it is recurrent. Is it that any transaction with just one transaction I made, I have to pay 1.75? So seriously. And also, the minority also stated that it is going to burden the average citizenry. And it's very true. Ohenewaa, you bear with me that I hope I'm on course. I'm trying to round up the discussion.
Oh, yeah, you're on course. Yeah, you're on course.
Thank you very much. Also, I
If you
forgot
can,
to say the
Miss Mayat, if you can kindly amplify your voice a bit
okay.
for our listeners.
So can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yes,
Can you
we
hear me
can hear
now?
you.
Because
Yes.
I'm really shouting from here. I'm really shouting.
Oh, okay. I think it's much
Okay,
better.
so the majority in power also stated that they need that money to boost the economy after the pandemic. But my question is, so they had no proposition before they came, like they had no proposition, they had nothing drawn up, and it's just in the second term of government that they would want to boost the economy. Okay, so it's questionable. I'm asking so that you reminisce.
Yeah.
Okay, so to my candid opinion, after the pandemic, it's the average Ghanaian that suffers. Even though companies were hit, the government was hit. It's not only in Ghana. There was a hit
Yeah.
everywhere. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But it puts a strain on the average Ghanaian. Look at how hard the economy is. Ohenewaa. And these are the factors I would like to outline. Unemployment increased. Already we had a strain strain on unemployment. But after the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, people lost their jobs completely.
Completely,
Okay.
that's true.
Then, yes, inflation also shot up. The prices of things are increasing.
Mm-hmm.
Last month I was in Ghana. I just came back and I realized that fuel prices has gone up. And basically, how are you going to get the money to, I don't know, pay this e-levy? Because if I'm a student, let's say in school, undergrad, my parents will send me 100 Ghana. The 100 Ghana cry is already deductible. The telco
Exactly.
charges are already deductible. Now, I would have to go and withdraw. Then the government would take. So what is left? Please. Then also, NGOs like churches and
Yeah.
all, they also stopped operating for a very long time. You understand? I
Mm-hmm.
understand they are not tax deducted, but they also pay income taxes. You get it on their salary. Yes. Then also businesses collapsed. Individual businesses, people who cook for people, all kinds of business were affected. I think there's only the pharmaceutical businesses that were really operating. For them, they
Yeah.
really smiled because you had to go and do a COVID test and you pay. Even when you arrive in Ghana, you are supposed to pay $50 to the government. Like let's say if you travel and you enter Ghana, you're supposed to pay $50 for COVID test. Then also the minimum wage still stands at $2, $2 per day. Whilst comparing it to the European countries or something, you can earn like $20 per hour. So the average
Exactly.
Ghanaian, yes, this is my
So
candid
they say.
opinion. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to be biased and I don't want to stand behind anybody, but this is my candid opinion. The average Ghanaian is I don't know, the economy is really in shambles and it affects the average Ghanaian. Even though the current government, I know before they even brought up this e-levy, they did intensive research on this topic. But to me, even though it's going to boost the economy and all that, we don't even see the tax revenue generate the tax revenue in its implications. Sorry, we don't see the implications of the revenues that are collected. It
Yeah.
was I read the news recently that with the introduction of the e-digitization of our taxes. I don't know whether you've heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
At first, they used to use the cash system or the bank system. Right now, we've moved to a platform that everybody pays online. With that, the government realized a huge amount of revenue that hasn't been realized in a very long time. So the question is, all these monies, where were they going?
Exactly.
It's a question for all of us to think about. So we are all not. If I speak of it, it will still hit on corruption. Corruption,
Okay.
like we are so corrupt. Not everyone, but the point is that if right after the introduction of the e-digitization of our taxes, we could realize an amount that hasn't been realized in 10 years. So where was all that money going to? Is it that the individual wasn't paying the taxes, or the taxes went and ended up in someone's pocket? So to summarize this, I just want to say that if you would have to pay for the taxes, then there should be some kind of transparency. So if there's one, we would have to pay 1.75. What is the money being used for? If it's going to boost our economy, which sector is it boosting? So what exactly is it being used for? I know the budget was read, and obviously they will speak English. We understand, but the English doesn't help us. We want some sort of transparency, Ohenewaa. So if you can go ahead with your next question, I would be good.
Thank you so much for hitting the nail right on the head. I would want to proceed to find out from you, do you think the Ghanaian economy in general can do with or without this e-levy?
We
A lot of
we've been
people are
surviving.
saying that we have cocoa, gold, a whole lot of minerals and all that we are benefiting from as Ghanaians. So are those not even enough to, hold us up, such that we need to tax even people who cannot afford their 3 square meal a day? So I want to find out from you, in your opinion as well, do you think we can do without the e-levy or otherwise?
Yes. So, Ohenewaa, so there's cocoa. There's already manganese, or the cocoa and everything is already there, and the government decided to introduce this e-levy. So she told you that the economy is shaky. The economy is shaky. Ghana, our problems are really huge, and I won't hit. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to stand on anybody's side. But the point is that our leaders, they should do their best to utilize our resources. Because I traveled to Dubai. Dubai has nothing. A country that has nothing. It has no water. It can't even plant trees. It can't even do nothing. Like, it imports literally everything. Dubai has been able to create an artificial beach. Everything is artificial in the country. So how do they survive? A country straight from the desert. In Ghana, we have fertile soil. We have resources. So the point is that, is it human labor? Is it the technical skill that we don't have? I don't know what the problem is. And it's very appalling, it's very appalling. So to me, looking at what the government brought out and the fact that it's being battled in the parliament, I don't think the economy can do without. But the point is that we are still in it. Like, no matter what, we still be here. Kwame Nkrumah gained independence with 3 million people. The population was 3 million. Now Ghana is 33 million, and it's not getting any better. Then we're spending pounds. Now we are spending cedis. So the point is that the Kwame Nkrumah help us. Pounds would have been better, because now the pound rate is like 8 is getting to 9 Ghana cedi. We would have been spending pounds. So Kwame Nkrumah's vision was to gain independence and make Ghana great again. But the question is, as time, I don't know, as time is revolving, are we getting any better? The economy state, when I checked, this economy state is the worst of it all. And we all blame it on the COVID. But the question is, I don't know, we should plan for contingent occurrences. Anything can happen. As a tax consultant, or as an accounting consultant, I always tell even individuals to plan their life for contingencies. Or kindly, like when I came back, in this economy, I felt sick. I had to go to the hospital. And with the hospital, my bills were enormous. So Ghana, if you don't even have money, you would die. You would die. If a surgery is supposed to be performed on you, we will die. So the question is, we are tired of all those back and forth. You get it? Because if you are trying to tell us that the 1.75 levy, if it's not, if the bill is not passed, it won't boost our economy. So what if it's not passed? The question is, what if it's not passed? Are you going to leave Ghana hanging? What happens to the state right now? And even the year-on-year budget read, we've never met our revenue expectation. We've never. Like I said,
Always
it was
said,
recently that yes, after the digitization of our taxes, that is when we got revenue. But the point is that we've never met it. So the point is that if we are introducing the 1.75 levy, are we going to meet our revenue? Is Ghana going to exceed its expenditure? I think the government should cut down expenditure. If there are, I don't know, places that we can shift a bit and also adjust so that we can use that money to boost the economy. Because if this levy is not introduced, because I have to send money to my grandmom in the village. Yeah, my grandmother is late, but I'm saying, like, I'm speaking like an average Ghanaian. Send money, 100 Ghana, 50 Ghana. Now you take 1.75. I don't know whether you've seen the analysis. The analysis of what
yes,
the telco people
the
will
chart
charge,
that
and
was
also,
drawn up, exactly.
yes, the burden is always on us. Like,
Yeah.
the trotro prices are increasing. We don't have car. We go and pick trotro. Now the prices are increasing. Like, everything is just pure water. I came back and I realized that now they've increased pure water to 4 Ghana
Yeah.
cedi. Hey, you know what? It's very appalling. So we shouldn't blame everything on COVID. You know, they should be very truthful to us. It's about time. It's really about time they come out and, I don't know, bring some sort of transparency. You know, the Auditor General, I know they are doing their best. But the point is that some of us really loved this government and we voted it into power. But if you're coming to say you're coming to take my 1.75 before you boost the economy, what money do I have? You know what?
What money do you have there? What money do you have? So, Miss Maya JB would want to also proceed to find out from you. Now that the e-levy has become a tool for national division, what is your independent advice to the politicians and to us as a citizenry?
Okay, so to the politician, like I said, tax revenue is good. Yes, is the okay. So to the citizenry, if people are battling, so you need to understand the nitty gritties before you even criticize. You know, so like I said, tax revenue is the primary source of income for every government. When you go to the UK and all that, when you see the country perishing and all that, it's taxes is the main source that is making the country perish. But in Ghana, you pay tax and the portal, you can even jump in the portal and all your tires go break. That's the system, you know. It's the real hustle here. You understand? So it's
Yeah.
good. The point is that it's good, but the timing is wrong because we just suffered a pandemic. How many people are employed? We are still producing graduates who don't even have jobs. So if I don't have a job, how can the little money my mama sent to me, I should come and pay 1.75 for taxes? For what? You get it? So if there are other means of generating, there are a lot of tax revenue sources. Maybe they saw that they saw some iredness in this money, you know, because when you check the estimation, yeah, it'd be low, you know. That is why they've cancelled the toll taxes. Every country does tolls. I believe they should have further increased our toll stations. So if it's just in Kaswa and Kema, just increase it to increase the revenue, but don't stop. Sika biya ye sika, yen two sika nkene, maybe 50 Ghana kra, me fa pepa ho edi. So so the point is that the citizens should understand that taxation is good, but the transparency, if the money will be used exactly. So if we pay for 1 year, if what I want the citizenry to demand is that if we are paying the taxes 1 year, the money, they should tell us exactly when Honorable Ken Foyata comes to read the budget. Oh, this money was used for so and so. Let us see. When we see what is going on, it will encourage me to pay.
Yeah.
I'm a worker and I have my own company. If taxes both, like it's obligatory, I can't dodge taxes. It's an offense if I don't pay my taxes. But the point is that if I understand why I should pay the taxes, I'll be glad. So if I pay the taxes and I see the roads being constructed, if I see more jobs being created, obviously it will boost me because it's going to help my sister, my cousin, my friend at home to get a job. So why not? I would pay, but we should see what is being used for. Then to the government too, like I said, the timing is wrong. I don't know, like I respect their decisions. I know they are very knowledgeable. They are very wise for them to sit down and bring this proposition. But I think the timing is wrong. And the mode of transition is like it's being enforced on us. So Honorable Oslowusu said taxes are being paid in the UK. Yes, we understand. I went to Japan. Taxes are being paid. Japan, everything is taxed. But we see Japan is good, the weather is fresh, So the country is good because we see the repercussions, the good repercussions of our taxes. So if we don't see, how do you expect me, what will encourage me to pay? So like I said, and the efficacy. Yeah, so if you want to pass a bill, if you want the public to, because the same public will vote for you, you understand? The minority knows that they've gotten a broken leg to stand on, They also like the money. They like the money. But the point is that they've gotten a broken leg to stand on to say that we will agree. So that the government, it will look like they are standing for the citizenry. But the point is that they also like the money, No politician hates money. They all like money. So,
That's true.
so the point is that
Undeniable.
yes, I've said it all. So they shouldn't act like they are on our side. The point is that they want a broken leg. They are smart. Politics is about being smart. So they want a broken leg to stand on for their next election. And we had more hopes in Dr. Baumi. I know he's done a lot, but the point is that you're not coming to us with your problems. We have our own problems and we want the leadership to solve it. Now you're coming to burden us with your problems. So what if the Momo wasn't introduced by MTN? The question is, what if Momo, each transaction, the electronic transaction wasn't introduced by this telco companies? How would you have, all these things when we sit down it's appalling. Like it makes us cry, and we are hoping by the grace of God that when we become leaders of tomorrow, we will also take the best decisions, because leadership is not easy. Leadership is not easy. So all we have to do is to pray for the current government. I'm a Christian. All the Muslims, we pray for the current government that maybe they can find other revenue sources with their expertise, because I truly believe that we respect their decisions and we know we had the how do I even call it? We had the trust in them. That is why we voted for them. So let's also pray for them and not really criticize. But I've said it all. I've spoken the God factor, the citizenry factor, and the government factor, and also the opposition. The opposition there, I'm saying that all they want is a broken leg to fall on.
Wow, this has been a very strategic, discussion, because you've hit the nail right on the head. You've attacked all sides and you've spoken on all sides of the based on all sides of the coin. Thank you so much, Miss Maya Brefu JB. I don't know if you would want to give us some final words, or that's exactly what you've said. Any final words?
Okay. Yeah, so thank you all very much for listening to me, and thank the organizers of the Today Ghana News. I'm very grateful for giving me this a platform to also speak on my independent opinion on this topic. And to the youth, Ghana is hard. So like the minister said, please be an entrepreneur. That's the way for the future. Be an entrepreneur and don't just look at Ghana. Look outside Ghana in the African countries and how you can create some sort of networks to do some import export. Be a hustler. Don't solely rely on the government. So if your mom fails you, if your dad fails you, doesn't mean you won't be successful. No. So don't really solely depend on the government. The government is not helping. Ghana is not helping. It has been that since Kojohoho, but we are still here. We are still living. So look up to God and your dreams. So thank you all very much. This is my advert for JB. Follow me on all social media platforms. I'm very open, and also a business and an accounting professional. So if you need me for your bookkeeping needs, that's it. So thank you, Ohenewaa. Let me leave it to you, or else I'll take all your time.
Thank you so much, my admirable JB. We appreciate your time, and we thank you so much for joining us on Today Ghana News TV News Update. We'll be happy to engage you more in the coming days. Thank you for your expert opinion on this topic. All right, have a great evening. All right, so let's now continue with the rest of our story. The Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram constituency, Honorable Sam Nete George, has sent a strong signal to perpetrators of Ayawaso West Wogon by-elections that no matter how long the case may be, he will seek justice for the crimes they've committed against him and against others. The MP was speaking at Fadama this afternoon at a function organized to commemorate that unfortunate event which happened 4 years ago.
Side of the story. It could have been a different thing for myself and many of my comrades who were injured. It could have been a memorial service that the NDC will be holding for us. But thanks to Almighty God, we went, we saw it, we lived through it, and we will tell our story. Just so that people remember that this is not a dead matter. This matter is by no way over at all. I heard Ambassador Sampiali talk about forgiveness. It is human to err, it is divine to forgive. We believe that God will forgive the perpetrators. But thankfully, we are not God. We are human beings. So God could forgive them if they seek for mercy and forgiveness from Him. But we will never forget. No matter how long it takes, we will seek justice. And let everyone who was part of Ayawaso West Wogon know that the day of justice is coming. That morning, myself and 20 other members of parliament were asked by the party to act as zonal coordinators. That was our only offense. I was given the EC accreditations to go around and hand over to our monitors on the ground. How handing out of cards by the EC accreditation cards could amount to the brutalization of unarmed Ghanaian citizens by thugs and hoodlums who had been put together by the national security apparatus and unleashed to wreak havoc. It was premeditated, it was planned, it was not spontaneous, it was not accidental. They had met, they had planned it, and they executed it. And for them, it was a trial run before the 2020 election. Because this country kept quiet, because it was NDC people, the whole country went quiet, decided to sweep it under the carpet. We saw that in Ayawaso West Wogon, they injured people. But during the December 7th election, they killed people. And they were able to go ahead and kill 8 people because when they hurt 8 people in Ayawaso West Wogon, we did not demand justice. When the people keep silent for the oppressor grows in his oppression. But our national anthem enjoins us to resist oppressor's rule. And President Akufo-Addo is the oppressor-in-chief of this country. And we must all rise up and resist him and all appointees of his who act in ways that undermine the constitution of this republic. We have heard reports
All right. Still at the Ayawaso West Wogon event, the managing director of the Insight newspaper, Mr. Kwesi Pratt, is asking Ghanaians that no matter one's political affiliations, they should speak against politicians who want to introduce violence into our politics just to gain from it.
This is our matter. One, because those who introduce violence into our politics subvert democracy. Those who introduce violence into the politics, they rig elections. Introducing violence into elections is like rigging elections. Because you introduce violence into election in order to intimidate people to run away, not to take part in the elections. You introduce violence into the election for you to do the things that are against the law. You introduce violence into the election when you are afraid of the true mandate of the people. So those who introduce violence into our politics, into our elections, are criminals. Those who introduce violence into our politics, into our elections and so on, subvert the will of the people. Those who introduce violence into our politics are determined to wreck this nation, and they must never be allowed to succeed. Today, on this ground, to my left, are victims of what happened at Ayawaso Wogon. Some of them, 3 years later, cannot walk. Some of them are incapable of working to earn a decent living. Some of them, their dependents are suffering. Some of them, their dependents are not able to go to school. Some of them are struggling to feed themselves and their dependents. Some of them are in constant pain. They have been in pain for 3 long years. If you are a Ghanaian and you don't rise up and speak about the pain of these victims, I don't know what kind of Ghanaian you are. If you are a Ghanaian and for the sake of partisan politics, you don't stand up to fight for these victims, then something is wrong. So every Ghanaian, no matter who you are, no matter what political party you belong to, no matter your religious orientation, we all have a responsibility to stand up and fight for these victims. And we all have a responsibility to struggle to build that new society in which what happened at Ayawaso West Wogon would never, never happen again. That is our responsibility.
In Cape Coast, a COVID-19 record keeper at the Central Regional Hospital was mistakenly taken as a child kidnapper and was subjected to severe beatings by some youth in the region. Our Central Regional correspondent, Wafasami, comes up with this report.
Mr. Emmanuel Bento, one of the COVID-19 record keepers at Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, has been mercilessly beaten to severe injury by 5 young men, including a Pragya rider and 4 others at Pseudo Methodist opposite the Robert Mensah Sports Stadium for leading a small boy on the roadside to his parents. Speaking in an interview with Wafasami, the victim disclosed that he saw the small boy crying on the roadside on the Tuesday around 10 a.m. in which he asked the boy about why he is crying. According to him, the boy told him he's staying at Pseudo and is looking for his parents, in which he took him to his parents at the said area. He said after he gave the boy to his parents, 4 boys together with a Pragya rider approached him and asked him where he was taking the boy to, and without waiting for an answer from him, subjected him with mob action with cement blocks, sticks, amongst other weapons. They kidnapped me into a room, and when I was becoming unconscious, sneaked out and ran to a Buria police station to report the case. But due to how I was bleeding profusely, they also dragged me out of the police station with a cane, in which I later rushed to Cape Coast Teaching Hospital for treatment, he told Wafasami in an interview.
Police station, Mudu police station, Mudu wana Bra police station.
Okay.
Mudu police station wana na. Bisanifikan na your friend boys mbasi yanko. Na Mudu police station. Mudu wana. Aboy from wasi munkumechi. Na so mun kama sama mezibei. Wasu no da munkumechi nti. Police nku bi mpo bu nkashia abai bui. Or the shim, wana or shimwa,
Ewa Abraho,
Ewa police station Abra wana or shima. Catching do panichow last week Tuesday. Last week Tuesday.
Bay time,
Around bay 10 getting to 11.
And you may
Anapa.
Oh, okay, Yantaza.
So unfortunate. All right, so thank you for being with us tonight. But before I sign out, let me take a few comments from our viewers on our various social media platforms, if any. All right, so this is from Wise Fight Amasaman, and he says, watching you live from the United States of Amasaman. Okay, so this is from Selassie Dinah Tete, and she says, watching you from Sogakope. Thank you all for joining us. Kwekuadi says, good evening, Ohenewaa and your news team. I'm watching you live from Amsterdam, Holland. Let's drop this e-levy. Sweet Mother Tete says, good evening, Ohenewaa and her amazing team. Patience Darko comes in to say, you're looking beautiful. Your news is packed today. Kudos for the good work you are doing for Ghana. I'm watching you from Hamburg, Germany. Thank you so much, Patience Darko. Odoi Tema says, hashtag Odoi Tema President Ekufuado. Please focus. Never mind the noise making NDC propaganda. Gideon Teya says, very educated. Thank you, Gideon. VIS Ghana comes in with a message that says, greetings, Ohenewaa. Your guest is very good in economics. Watching from Edukrum in Eastern Region. Wafasami comes in with a message, watching live from the ancient capital, Cape Coast. All right. So, and that will be it for the end of news updates. You can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube via the handle Today Ghana News TV. Once again, my name is Joyce Ohenewaa Kwapong. Have a good night.